You know that moment when a group of guys invites you to the cigar lounge, and you are excited, but also quietly calculating the cost before you ever light a cigar, like you showed up to relax and accidentally walked into a budgeting exercise. Because it stops being just a cigar and turns into a comparison. You start wondering whether you picked the right stick, whether everyone else knows something you do not, and whether there was a welcome packet you somehow missed. Then the drink menu arrives, and the prices feel ambitious. You notice how confidently everyone orders, as if spending that much on a drink is completely normal and not something they will think about later. Now add one more reality to the situation. You still have to drive home afterward, which suddenly makes this relaxing night include responsibility, math, and at least one internal conversation about what counts as a good decision. That part is rarely mentioned aloud. When you are new, the lounge can feel like a quiet test, and one wrong choice starts to feel like it might define you for the rest of the evening. Here is something worth remembering. If these guys are truly your friends, they are not judging what is in your glass, and if they are judging you, that probably says more about them than it does about you. Another thing that deserves to be said clearly. A Herf is not about alcohol. It is about cigars, conversation, and sitting long enough for time to slow down without every minute feeling like it needs to justify its cost. Once that idea settles in, the pressure fades. You stop ordering to impress anyone and start ordering in a way that actually improves your night instead of quietly stressing you out. The last time I was at the lounge, I ordered a bottle of sparkling water. It came in a glass bottle, it was cold, and it cost less than half the price of a single drink. Nothing dramatic happened after that order. There were no raised eyebrows, no awkward pauses, and no emergency meeting of the lounge elders to discuss my questionable life choices. There is also a practical upside worth mentioning. Sparkling water works extremely well as a palate cleanser and gives your cigar a fair chance to show what it can actually do. It clears your mouth between draws, sharpens flavors, and helps you notice transitions that often fade when alcohol takes over the entire experience, from first light to final ash. As a result, the cigar becomes the main event again. You taste more detail, understand the blend better, and realize you're getting more enjoyment from the cigar you actually paid for. There is also a financial benefit that adds up quickly. Instead of overspending on drinks, that same money can go toward a higher quality cigar or something completely new you have never tried before. That is how palates grow over time. Not by copying other orders, but by exploring unfamiliar territory and discovering what you genuinely enjoy rather than what simply looks impressive on the table. Here is the part that surprised me the most. Nobody cared at all. The group stayed the same, the conversation flowed naturally, and the night carried on without anyone keeping score. I was still part of the Herf, still part of the group, and still enjoying the evening without worrying about my budget, my drive home, or whether I belonged there in the first place. So here's the takeaway worth remembering. You do not need alcohol to belong, and you do not need to overspend to fit in or prove anything to anyone at the lounge. The cigar is the point, and the people are the point. Everything else is optional background noise that does not deserve to distract you from enjoying a good cigar and good company. I'm Bo, you're doing great, and I'm here to help. If you have questions or want to share your own experience, leave them in the comments and keep the conversation going.